Bro, oh shit, bro, I got a story to tell you guys. Did you know, bro? Hold on, did you guys know that cartoons were not made for kids? They're made for adults. Well, I don't even know. I thought they were made for kids. I used to watch them when I was a kid. But this guy will explain why. Not me, this guy. Because I
The
have no
drone
idea.
age has begun.
God damn, that's loud. Hey, I just ran up. I just ran up the stairs. As you can see, I'm not healthy at all. I can't even talk. But second live stream today. This is a second live stream. I love it. I love the hustle. You know what I'm saying? This is a second live stream because earlier today I was live streaming and my laptop just shut off. So if it does it again, I'm sorry. I don't know what's going on. Hopefully it doesn't. But let's get right to it. I'm sorry I talk so much. I get
Of
so
a
hyped so I'm on
large-scale
camera.
military online action game. Experience completely new gameplay by... It's safe to say cartoons are more enjoyable when they are constructed for older audiences. Today I'm going to take you all on a nostalgia trip, covering adult cartoons from their inception in the 1920s all the way to the crowning point
You guys heard that? Because I did.
of Adult Swim, the mecca of adult animations. Drink water. In the 1920s, Hollywood was
orange juice.
booming, producing an average of...
I got orange juice and I got my food here over here too. I literally just got back from work like what? Time is it? I got back 40 minutes ago, literally.
800 feature films
And
per
I
year.
hopped
There
on
were
here,
some
got my
cartoons,
food and I
but they
came.
were still in early development. The few cartoons that were made in the 20s were shown at cinemas before a feature film. They were essentially short films with no dialogue, just music and sound effects. It was also in the 1920s where there was a big push for harsher censorship in films and theatrical performances. The Supreme Court ruled in 1915 that free speech did not extend into motion pictures. A lot of films, such as the ones performed at the New York stage, had mature content, nudity, cursing, and adult
I'm
subject
sorry, I'm
matter.
on my
It was
phone.
like the
I'm
Wild
doing
West with
something
no
for
rules and
YouTube, I promise.
regulations. In 1927, there was a censorship committee formed by Will Hayes, a Republican politician, to propose some do's and don'ts in the film industry. It took a while for these suggestions to become an actual enforced code, known as Hayes Code, and in the meantime, cartoons would take advantage of the minimal regulations.
Whoa. Whoa.
This was known
Cartoons were actually like that back then. They just zoom in, but they still show you what she's taking. Hold on, bruh.
as the pre-code era. Betty Boop. She was a caricature of the 1930s flapper, a woman with more love to give than knowledge to share, typically depicted as being innocent yet scandalous. She had a baby face but the body of a grown woman. Many of these early productions were heavily sexualizing Betty and other animated women. Some of these straight up glamorizing...
Do you like your job? Well, I think if I were you, I'd go so you would come with me. I have some dinner.
You already know what they're
They pretty much
saying, bro.
depicted every way possible a woman's dress
You don't
could
need
get
to
removed from
hear
her
it,
body.
or-
Betty exploded in popularity. However, with the enforcement of Hays Code in 1934, the animation studio was required to button up Betty's image. She went from being a free spirit flapper to a housewife/career girl who wore fuller dresses. Her curls got straightened out, her earrings got smaller, and she slowly became more mature. She even smelled different. Okay, we don't know how she smelled, but I think we can all
Yeah, I
agree
was like,
smelling
what the
good
fuck?
is feeling good, which is why Scentbird is a necessary
Oh,
service
this
for you.
guy,
Scentbird
bro.
is a fragrance subscription service with over...
Hey, he gotta get
Now at
his
least I
money.
smell rich. I also received the Chris
Come
Collins
on.
Autumn Night Scent, over $7.
I hate how long they take. Like, I get you trying to make your bag, but goddamn, brother. How big of a bag you trying to make?
By the code, so creators had to try and entertain the adult
I'm about to
audiences
start eating soon.
conspicuously through their children's
Just
shows.
waiting to get fully
Animated
hungry, you know
shorts
what I'm
hit
saying?
new strides in the 30s, with the creation of Mickey Mouse, Donald Duck, and Snow White. These animations were good enough to captivate audiences for extended periods of time. In the 40s, there was Bugs Bunny, Tom and Jerry, Bambi. They were definitely designed for children, but parents could watch and be entertained. Storylines were basic, most of the humor came from silly faces, characters getting hurt, and just basic tropes that would make kids laugh. In 1949, the first animated television series was launched, called Crusader Rabbit. Gumby in the 50s was a groundbreaking new animation style, but most of the 50s was dominated by the same kid-friendly animations from the 40s. Television sales were exploding in popularity, but animated series were not regularly programmed yet. You had experimental 5-minute episodes programmed by various stations at different times.
Hey, if you still watch Tom and Jerry till this day, you're an OG. Don't matter how old you are. If you still watch Tom and Jerry, you're an OG, bro. You're an OG. Cause Tom and Jerry is the shit. Let's be honest, bro. Tom and Jerry and SpongeBob, they're at the top of the list. You know, SpongeBob is probably my number one, and Tom and Jerry is probably my number two. Shit. Can't even lie about that.
One of the more famous ones, and was pretty much
Hey, that's
adult
pretty
targeted,
lit,
leaning into relatable humor, the best kind. That was a joke. Focused on the working class man and relating to his struggles. Like, wow, the pipe broke on this sink. Oh my god, I hate when that happens. There was a massive shift in the 60s. The birth of Hanna-Barbera animations. Basically every American household has a TV now. You had the Flintstones, the Jetsons, Pink Panther, Scooby-Doo, Spider-Man, Hulk, so many more. Regularly scheduled cartoons enjoyed by millions so you don't have to go to the cinema to see animation. There was more variety, better writing. Still leaning into the
this shit is bringing me some childhood memories back. God damn. I'm liking this video.
Working class man and the modern family, but the colors were brighter, the scenes and animation were more imaginative. TVs in general were more creative and fun. Most of these cartoons were still family friendly, designed for children, yet really enjoyable for adults to watch as well. The 70s was the birth of Nickelodeon. However, the mid-70s to mid-80s would be the weakest era for new cartoons. The 70s were carried by shows that were started in the 60s. Critics, whoever they are, say the golden age of animation ended in 1972. Obviously, everyone born in the 70s or later would say that's cap, but many of the most critically acclaimed, financially successful, and culturally significant animated films and cartoons were released from the 20s to the early 70s. However, they had significantly less variety and less competition, so it's a lot easier for those cartoons to have a bigger impact.
That's so true. Back then, they barely had any competition, so they would get popular fast. That is true, but till this day we like them, maybe because they're our childhood cartoons, but hey, I've watched this, I've watched that. I can't see the bottom ones, but I already watch them right now. Shit, I fucking love this shit.
Cartoons were considered to be more lifelike, emotionally relatable, and contained valuable lessons. But a lot of adults may argue that cartoons are not a place where they want to learn life lessons and rather escape into a creative
Hey, bro, Rick and Morty's the shit. I know it's new, but Rick and Morty's the shit.
Complex alternate reality. Not to remind them how much their boring life is just like this boring cartoon. To no surprise, cartoon ratings were plummeting, resulting in budget cuts and then the release of low-budget animations that didn't have a lasting impact. The 1980s, you had the birth of the Disney Channel. Shows like The Smurfs, Thomas the Tank Engine, and Alvin and the Chipmunks were hits for children. But the late 80s felt like cartoons were catering to the teenage and adult audiences a lot more. At this point, for almost 40 years, cartoons were perceived to be for children and almost exclusively designed for children. Like, it started out exclusively for adults, then immediately did a 180 for kids, and was slowly building towards being designed for adults again. Teens were waking up in the morning, eating cereal, watching tunes, and chilling on the couch after school, watching tunes. Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, Transformers, He-Man and the Masters of the Universe, Thundercats, RoboCop. These were designed more so for teenagers and opened up a lot more opportunities for advanced animation, more action, and more advanced storylines that could be understood, not just ha-ha bonk on the head humor. There were a plethora of new shows being premiered only to be discontinued after a season or so. The scenes were more imaginative and immersive. Unfortunately, a lot of the shows didn't stick or become as culturally long-lasting as shows made in the 90s. But in 1989, something big happened. A cartoon written and designed for adults without being racist or overly sexual. The Simpsons.
Yo, this burger is fire as fuck.
Simpsons is not written for kids. It's written for adults. Was said by Matt Groening, who created the show. Matt was a visionary.
This motherfucker can go into the future. I don't care what anyone says. He knows the future. Literally, bro. Oh my god.
He knew that
everything
the
he has in
audience
The Simpsons
wanted
is
and
happening.
needed an adult-oriented cartoon show, so he made it happen. Homer Simpson and Marge Simpson are married with 3 children, Bart, Lisa, and Maggie. They live in the middle America town of Springfield. It was an animated sitcom without the laugh track, leaning into a classic sitcom storyline, the average American family. Breakfast in the morning, conflict in the day, resolution at night. It was as basic as it gets in terms of understanding the general plot. Just watch the first episode and you have almost all the background information needed to watch the next 32 seasons. Although it was basic in nature, every episode was a new day and the creative possibilities were endless. Homer would overreact, get in ridiculous situations, and handle them how basically nobody would handle them.
How about that rain check for the last day?
Introducing Opera GX, the first browser built for gamers. Match your setup colors with special...
No! Don't look at me!
The animation style stood out from the rest immediately. They were all yellow, they all had extremely unique features like huge mouths and weird-shaped heads. The show was carried by the extensive array of wacky side characters, all that have memorable characteristics and are voiced by unique and talented actors. The most successful primetime cartoon in history at this point. The Simpsons Season 1 in 1990 averaged a whopping 27 million viewers per episode. The Simpsons proved that a cartoon designed just for adults can not only be successful, but be the most successful. Liquid Television. Produced by MTV and released in 1991, it was a compilation of animated shorts by independent artists. They were pushing the boundaries of animation.
I'll be honest, I like Family Guy a lot more than Simpsons. I'll be honest, just being honest.
And all of it was catered to adults. It was like this little secret network within a network.
I've never seen this cartoon.
Which sounds familiar. This was the birth of Beavis and
Oh,
Butthead,
this
which was
one,
a
I've seen
crude,
that one.
humored show about two
But
dumbasses
not
who
the other
couldn't
one,
do
what the
anything
fuck?
right.
We tracked him. He's probably like, there's nobody here.
And were obsessed with the idea of getting laid.
Ladies beware.
Sure, it only lasted a few seasons, but it is culturally iconic. At the time, this was groundbreaking in terms of what comedy and adult cartoons could be.
Primarily children watch cartoons, but adults watch cartoons too. In fact, in the evening, on the average evening, more adults are tuned to the Cartoon Network than tuned to CNN.
That was Ted Turner, creator of the iconic Cartoon Network. Ted was a visionary who knew how badly the world needed cartoons. His strategy started with buying the rights to every cartoon ever made. Sounds like an overstatement, but let me break it down. Ted founded CNN, the very first 24-hour news network in 1980. 1 year later, he purchased MGM Studios and United Artists for $1.5 billion, in which he sold a portion to cut down on debt. He remained with MGM's pre-1986 library, which included thousands of films, but more importantly, a ton of classic cartoons. Looney Tunes, Merry Melodies, Popeye, the list goes on. In 1991, he purchased almost all of Hanna-Barbera Productions' catalog, which included the Flintstones, Scooby-Doo, the Jetsons, and many, many more. Basically, Ted now owned the rights to every popular cartoon made in the last 60 years that wasn't made by Disney. And with that, he started the first ever 24-hour network dedicated to strictly cartoons. The Cartoon Network did not explode in popularity right away. It was a bunch of reruns of old shows.
I remember though, we had that box TV back in the day, and then every time I want to watch something, just go to Cartoon Network. There's a cartoon over there. Hey bro, that's so much memories. Goddamn, good old days.
As a little nostalgia kick for older folks. This ultimately was a genius strategy because imagine trying to start a 24-hour network with 0 shows that people knew. It would be impossible to get off the ground. So the network started with only old shows and got to work producing originals. Just when you think TV is going to be taken over by all adult animations, we got another renaissance of children's cartoons on Nickelodeon. Doug, Rugrats, Ren and Stimpy, Rocko's Modern Life, Kablam, Ah Real Monsters, Hey Arnold. Nickelodeon was the go-to place for children's cartoons, even though some of these early cartoons were barely for kids. While Disney was producing the perfect imagination land where everything is happy and nice, Nickelodeon was bringing totally original animation styles, grim scenery, and taking creative risks. Cartoon Network slowed down on airing old shows in 1996, and they were ready to roll out their originals. Dexter's Laboratory, Johnny Bravo, Cow and Chicken, Ed, Edd and Eddy, Courage the Cowardly Dog. It's safe to say in the
These three right here, I used to watch them 24/7. God damn, bro. God, I mean, I've watched Johnny, right? That's his name? Something like that. I've watched him, but no, these three right here are fucking the best.
90s, the line between
God
what
damn.
cartoons are for adults and what cartoons are for children is very blurry. It could be because the censorship that was enforced in the 30s wasn't really challenged for 50 years or so when The Simpsons came out. I'm not saying that the 90s cartoons were edgy, but they were a little darker, more intrepid, more intense, and overall more adult appealing. The 90s in general were a little darker and rebellious towards the 80s, where everything was seen as loud, colorful, and glamorous. Counterculture became cool, grunge music and gangster rap became popular, so cartoons really blended in with the aesthetic of the culture. We are going to be different, so let's be cool and reserved and do exactly the opposite of what the 80s would do. South Park, 1997. The first episode was crass, in-your-face humor.
Ike, you can't come to school with me. You can't. Go home, you little dildo. Dude, don't call my brother a dildo. What's a dildo?
This show was not for kids, which is funny because it's a bunch of 4th graders. At this point, The Simpsons proved you can make fun of pop culture, make fun of politics, make edgy, rude jokes while entertaining millions of people and creating a 9-figure worth show. South Park is not unique in its use of satirical humor, but it is one of the most effective satires due to its production format. The scripts for episodes are not written before the season begins, but the production of an episode begins on a Thursday with the creators, Matt Stone and Trey Parker, and the show's writers brainstorming ideas for the episode. The script will be written, animated, and voiced for release on Wednesday nights, just 6 days of work. We work between 100 and 120 hours in a 7-day week to deliver the episodes. This hectic production allows South Park to be in the zeitgeist of pop culture while it is happening. For example, in the season 4 episode Quintuplets
Bro,
2000,
they work their ass off 120 hours per week. Oh my god. They deserve it. And South Park is a banger, bro. I don't care. It's a banger.
the show nearly does a one-to-one recreation of a famous photo of a U.S. Border Patrol raid during the Elian Gonzalez affair, an event that occurred 4 days before the show aired. The season 7 episode, It's Christmas in Canada, references the discovery and capture of Saddam Hussein, which happened 3 days before the episode aired. Season 12's About Last Night revolves around Barack Obama's presidential victory, which happened less than 24 hours before the episode aired. On the surface, the show appeals to almost any age group, but the news-like coverage of more serious current events is certainly appealing to an adult audience. South Park has won 5 Primetime Emmy Awards as well as the prestigious Peabody Award, which honors excellence in storytelling that reflects the social issues and the emerging voices of our day. South Park remains one of Comedy Central's highest-rated programs, and in 2021 was renewed through 2027. 2 years after South Park came Family Guy, another soon-to-be iconic adult animated series focused on a New England family, which was reminiscent of The Simpsons with a moronic father, stay-at-home wife, and of course, the 3 kids. The first episode aired on Fox immediately after Super Bowl 33 to 22 million viewers. Season 1 maintained high viewership, but would dwindle through the 2nd and 3rd seasons. Following the 3rd season's declining viewership, Fox decided to cancel the show in 2002. Hard to imagine a time where Family Guy wasn't totally loved. Maybe it was just too similar to The Simpsons. This wasn't the end of the Griffins. There would be a savior coming to their rescue.
Nope.
The 2000s,
Never the
a new
end of them.
century. This meant change. Changing back into kid-friendly cartoons? Again? Nickelodeon started drifting from the grim, dark cartoons to more companionable and kid-friendly with the additions of SpongeBob,
Yes,
Fairly
sir,
Oddparents, The
SpongeBob.
Wild Thornberries, Rocket Power,
The
Jimmy
fair-
Neutron. They
oh,
still had Invader Zim,
I
Cat
forgot what
Dog,
they
and
called
Danny
it, but that
Phantom.
one's
Disney
fire.
Channel
Danny
was even more
Phantom.
kid-friendly. Cartoon Network was
Bro,
kind of
so
the
much
place where the
memories right
cool
now.
teenagers indulge. But it was spiraling down pretty fast. The network had a new CEO and the company was merged with Time Warner AOL. New ownership and new leadership will lead to changes. All of their iconic shows like Dexter's Lab, Johnny Bravo, and Courage were getting canceled. They rebranded, launched a few new shows that are beloved today but weren't necessarily hits at the time. Codename Kid Next Door, Billy and Mandy, Foster's Home for Imaginary Friends.
Oh my
These shows were a little bit softer compared to previous Cartoon Network originals and were loved by children, but not teenagers and adults. So there was a gap in the market. There wasn't a go-to place where adults could escape into an animated universe and not have to worry about censorship and juvenile humor. Until 2001, with the birth of Adult Swim, the very first animated network designed specifically for adults.
Adult Swim. All kids out of the pool.
The branding was clever. All kids out of the pool, because now it was time for the adults to have some fun without all the childishness. The
Yeah,
shows
I like
often
that.
had a more mature sentiment, coarse language, and sexual innuendos. The Adult Swim programming block launched just 2 nights a week, with one of those being just a repeat of the other. Original series would be aired such as Aqua Teen Hunger Force, The Brack Show, Space Ghost Coast to Coast, Sea Lab 2021, and more. Adult Swim kinda had a cheat code to launch the network. Since Ted Turner purchased the Hanna-Barbera catalog in the 90s, they were able to use classic cartoons such as Scooby-Doo and new shows like Harvey Birdman. This may not seem like a big deal, but having the rights to a classic cartoon and being able to tell a new story around those 50-year-old characters is a huge advantage to gaining new viewership. Imagine your dad flipping through the channels and seeing Yogi Bear on the witness stand. He would be confused but interested to see one of his childhood cartoons be reimagined. Adult Swim could
That is
arguably
true.
give the credit for introducing Americans to anime, broadcasting popular shows like Cowboy Bebop and Mobile Suit Gundam. By late 2002, the network was becoming more interested in obtaining the rights to animated series that had been canceled. Again, knowing how hard it is to make new cartoons and get a new audience when you can just capture an already existing audience. One of the first and more notable of these was Futurama, which they obtained the rights to reruns for a reported $10 million.
God, I mean, not that much, honestly. The show is pretty good.
Jim Samples,
They probably
Cartoon
made
Network's
way
executive
more
VP,
than
said,
that.
Futurama reruns will take our Adult Swim programming to a whole different level. Adult Swim would come to the rescue for another show, which would become a pivotal moment for both the network and the series. Family Guy. 3
Yes,
seasons
sir.
that had previously aired on Fox would now have
That's
a new
probably
home
the
on Adult
best decision they've ever made, bro. Getting Family Guy, oh my god, they probably made billions, now millions. Till this day, they be dropping episodes, goddamn, and I'm watching every day.
Swim. The
Everyone's
president of
dead.
Fox tried selling Family Guy, but nobody wanted it. We ended up giving them to Cartoon Network basically for free. In 2003, it became the block's top.
Bro, like, why? Bro, give it to me, bro. On God, I'll own it, bro. I'll own it. I know I need people to run it and stuff. I'll figure it out. Don't worry. Give it to me, bro. God damn, I'll go get
program. The
loan.
Griffins boosted the viewership
I know that was
of
back
Adult Swim
then,
and
but
Cartoon Network
goddamn.
as a whole by 239%. The same week Family Guy aired on Adult Swim, Fox released the first 2 seasons on DVD. 400,000 copies within a month were sold. The reruns
Whoa.
and DVDs were so successful that Fox ordered 35 new episodes of Family Guy in 2004. Adult Swim officially brought the show back from the dead. With a massive increase in viewership, the Adult Swim block was expanded from 2 to 5 nights a week. Adult cartoons were about to take over. 2005 to 2015 would arguably be the peak of Adult Swim. Futurama and Family Guy were bringing in the consistent new viewers who were slowly and surely getting into the network's originals such as Venture Bros and Aqua Teen Hunger Force.
Man, you gotta check this out.
Oh, yeah, baby. That's a neat car she's washing. You think that's a straight six?
I think I have a straight 6.
Ooh, your sexual innuendo is priceless.
Iconic long-running shows like Robot Chicken and the Boondocks would be introduced.
That's right.
Bro, I've never watched the Boondocks, but I've always seen clips and it seems funny as fuck. I'm not gonna lie.
Sorry, honey, sorry. I just gotta crap like a bastard. I can't wait.
What the fuck is this?
Syndicated classics, King of the Hill, and American Dad are
American
running.
Dad, yes sir. American Dad's pretty fire too. I fuck with it. I watched King of the Hill, but I'm not really a fan
How
of
could
it.
you do this to me, Puff Puff?
In 2007, they would expand their programming to 7 nights a week, even branching out of animation with the Tim and Eric Awesome Show, the Eric Andre Show, Loader Squad. Although its popularity was at an all-time high, Adult Swim still felt like this dark corner of TV that only people with a secret password were allowed to watch. These were shows you escape into when you're alone at night and with all the lights off, not with the whole family in the living room. You built relationships with the characters and became emotionally invested. If you were young, you didn't want your parents to find out
I'm
what you
literally
were
gonna
watching.
play Family
Adult
Guy
Swim gave
after I
up-and-coming
finish
creators
this.
a chance to display their animations to the masses. They embraced underground hip-hop and lo-fi, which at the time had very little representation. They were also known for their iconic bumps, which were 5 to 10 second segments after the show and before commercials. Also after the commercials and before the show. These bumps took away an extra commercial or two to provide a nice transition for the viewer. Most networks would just run another commercial for the bag. They were designed to be relaxing, usually accompanied with a creative or funny visual and calm music. The black screen with white text became the most iconic bump style. In 2021, people were creating their own Adult Swim bumps on TikTok, and it was probably the best trend I've ever seen on that app. Adult Swim wasn't this roaring financial beast like Nickelodeon or Disney
I've
Channel.
never seen it. I've never heard about Adult Swim
Network.
till
They were
right now. I'm
creating
not gonna
culture
lie.
and satisfying a market that was so desperately in need of something beyond Family Guy and The Simpsons.
I've
Cartoon
watched a
Network
lot
had
of their
second
stuff,
boom
but
in the
I don't know.
2010s with Adventure Time, Regular Show, and The Amazing World of Gumball, while
Yes,
Disney and
sir.
Nick were hanging on for dear life. However, Adult Swim would get blessed with the introduction of Rick and Morty in
That's their
2013.
building?
Rick and Morty follows Rick Sanchez, a cynical mad scientist, and his timid grandson Morty. These two split their time between a complicated home life and interdimensional space travel. There aren't enough words to explain the imaginative and insane
God bless
plot
me,
lines
oh,
in the
thank
show.
you.
It's been memed heavily, and
Thank
the
you.
mainstream
I mean,
audience definitely
don't
makes
matter.
it seem a bit cringe, but it's a really great show even still to this day. Throughout its 5 seasons, Rick and Morty has measured an average viewership of 1.67 million viewers, which in the modern streaming era
That's
is
it?
excellent. Its influence around the world is immense, with
Bro,
multiple
Rick,
video
Rick
games,
and Morty is
tabletop games,
fucking
memes, and
beasted,
but
bro.
as you know, the way
It's
most of these
lit as
videos
fuck.
end, the streaming era. The downfall of television and birth of social media leads to the rapid dwindling relevance of these networks. Half of the people watching this video don't have cable anymore or don't care to watch it. The others won't be purchasing HBO Max or any other streaming services to watch new or even old classic cartoons. Adult Swim, Cartoon Network, Disney Channel, Nick, they're doing fine. Times are different now. There are too many streaming services.
I'm not gonna lie. This video was a waste of time. It's pretty boring. Cartoons were never made for kids, but I thought it was gonna be lit. I even like recorded a whole video, and you know I thought I'd post it on YouTube, but I guess not. Maybe if I'm sick one day I'll post it, but I don't see me posting it. It's pretty boring. Yeah. Let's stop the recording. My hair is fucked up. I know it's always been fucked up. My dumbass hasn't gotten a haircut in a minute. Let's react to I don't even know. What the fuck is there, bro? Why if YouTube is getting boring? What is this? Hold on, let's refresh. You know what? I'm gonna just search up something. It looks like the recommendations are ass. I'm not gonna lie. I don't even know, bro. Scary stories animated. I don't want to keep reacting to these, bro. To these disturbing blackout. For true. God damn, why do I have to do this at nighttime? To be true. Okay, let's do this one, the water park
These
one.
don't work
and
at
then
cold temperatures.
let's do boom. Let's play with the title a little bit, you know what I'm saying? I'm so sorry there's no energy in the stream. I'm so tired. I literally just got back from work, hopped on this right away. I'll try to be more energized for you guys, you know what I'm saying? What was that again? Let's make it capitalized. True water park. Wait, what the fuck? Sometimes there's words if I don't type them fast, I can't spell them. It's weird. I don't know why. Let's do it again. True water park scary. Should I put true or real? Real water park scary stories. True water. I think real would be better, right? Real. You know what I'm saying? Real water park scary stories. Yes, sir. And then for the for the thumbnail, I know you guys are gonna hate me, but I have to steal it. I can't really do. I hate the fact that I can't even do my own. Scary. Hot. Wait. Scary water park. See what I mean? Like when I take. Oh, I don't like this. I like making my own. I make them so much better. But the only way I know how to make it is on my phone. I can't. Oh my god. It's pretty dumb. Like, which one do I even get? They all look bad. I'm not gonna lie. That's Disney World. That's not even a water park. Let's go with this one. And I'll change it after I'm done, I guess. Pretty dumb, I know. Wait, it's not here. It's right here. Change it real quick, you know what I'm saying, chat? This one. Save. Real water park, scary stories. Forgot one more word. Animated. Animated. I spelled it right? I believe so. There we go. Alright. Let's record it just in case actually a good one. I'm gonna turn off my light. Actually. Since
Why?
it's night time, you know, we might need
This
them
unit
on.
right
You
here,
know what I'm saying? Just joking.
199,000 BT.
I might actually turn them off. It's a little too bright in here. We ain't no pussy, chat. Okay, don't play that noise, bro. I'm turning off my lights, bro. Don't do this to me right now. Okay,
The
lights
next
are
story
on.
was inspired by a water park mishap that occurred in Indonesia.
Bro, what I like about this guy's videos, they have a real background to them, so you know the story is 100% real.
Water park rides tend to have a weight capacity limit, or a number of persons allowed at one time. But for this particular occasion, the
I'm
standard
hating the background music, bro. Get it over with.
requirements were
Not gonna
definitely
lie.
not a factor due to the outcome of the accident. We wanted to create a dramatized version inspired by the alleged occurrence. Before everything got shut down, my girlfriend and I traveled to Indonesia. That may seem like a strange pick, but my biggest reason for going there was the price. Everything there was dirt cheap compared to back home, and this was the first time we'd been able to save up enough money to go anywhere. But even then, we'd heard the news about what was going on in the world at the time, and had the suspicion that this might be the last chance
I
we
lost
got to go
something,
on
chat.
a real vacation for a long while. Due to all that mess, we
What's
were
up?
spending a little more
Am I
than we
tripping?
planned to make sure we got to do everything we wanted and then some. One of the less intelligent decisions was to go to this water park we'd seen so many advertisements about ever since we started planning our trip. It was said to be the biggest water park in the country,
Always inside
with all
my
sorts
ass.
of huge,
I'm
crazy
joking,
rides
bro. That
and
was
slides
deep
to
in
go
there.
on. I've always been a bit of a geek when it came to theme parks and such, so I'd been thinking about buying tickets the whole time. But it wasn't until our last day there, which was also the hottest day of the entire sweltering week, that I managed to get my girlfriend to agree under the guise of beating the heat. She's always been terrified of heights and large bodies of water and drowning, but she's...
Bro, I cannot stand heights. I start shaking when I go up high. I don't know why, but I can't stand heights.
She's been kind of scared of everything, so I usually just convince her to get over her fears. It was hard enough getting her on a plane in the first place, but I have lots of practice persuading her.
I can
And
get
let
on
her
a plane.
acclimate to the place for a little while. She
I
seemed to be
travel.
okay with the lazy river,
like
but
traveling.
I've personally never heard more of a boring concept. After she wasn't on the verge of tears anymore, I said it was my turn to pick where we went. And of course, I chose the meanest, coolest water slide I could see. The tallest one in the park, with the longest line that gave away its popularity. My girlfriend was not happy about it, but she came along. It wasn't until we started lining up on the stairs that she got antsy.
Oh my god, we're up so high. Let me just hold on to you.
It's okay, this thing is solid structure. We're not going anywhere.
I don't care, it's too high. Can't we just, I don't know, stay on the island with the white sandy beaches and the crystal
Bro,
clear...
I hate that stuff when you go to a water park and you go up the stairs and there's a huge line, but you have to wait on the stairs and it's like up so high and it's like, oh my god, bro. I felt like holding out for my dear life, you know what I'm saying?
water and enjoy ourselves?
I'm not gonna waste our last bit of vacation on tanning with a bunch of senior citizens wearing Speedos and jock straps.
There's too many people on this thing. Oh god, I can feel it swaying.
It's not swaying. Your legs are probably just weak from last night. The line was crawling,
Whoa,
and there
what's
wasn't
that supposed
any
to
order
mean?
to it either. The entire stairwell was packed with people, and even though we were in the shade, the humid heat that's classic to Indonesia was
An
slowly
ad, bro. I
sweating
hate
us all
ads,
to death.
bro.
The
Why? Why
Sick of
do
all
they
the
even have
ads
ads?
like this one?
Yes,
Just
I am
head to
sick of the ads.
adscatter.com. Click on Activate Now.
Fuck off.
higher up we got, the more of a breeze
I should have
went
listened,
by.
maybe it
I
would've
was
helped.
thankful for that, but my girlfriend couldn't stop looking down. Babe, if you're so terrified of heights, why don't you stop looking at the ground? Look at the clouds or something. She
hard
looked
not
at
to.
me with daggers in her eyes, but didn't say anything. Her jaw was clenched shut, chattering with fear. I recognized that she was getting more anxious, but I'd been easing her fears so much for that entire trip, I was hoping that she could just be an adult just one time and deal with it herself. Eventually, we finally reached the top platform. But
Stop being an adult and deal with it for yourself, bro. When you're scared of heights and you get that feeling, and when you're up there, bro, it's like, fuck, you can't even control it, bro. Like,
there,
it's too
the
much.
line was pretty long, too. The attendants were trying to speed things along by allowing people to go into the slide before the last person was all the way out. I knew immediately that something like that would never fly in a water park that I was used to going to. But I couldn't argue that it was moving things along. The first part of the slide was a huge drop, but then it had all these twists and turns toward the bottom that made it take forever to get through. If it had to be one at a time, the wait might have been hours. One by one, we watched all the people in front of us go down the chute, but I just knew that my girlfriend was about to freak out by the look in her eyes. She was as pale as a ghost.
No, I can't. I'm not going down there. Let me down.
I ran to her and grabbed her so she wouldn't run away. Babe, calm down. It's just a slide. It'll be fine. It'll be fun, even. You just have to take a little chance. But I promise you're gonna be okay. She couldn't even make out words at that point. Her face was all red and scrunched up like a little kid throwing a fit, and tears were streaming down her face. She was even dripping snot from her nose, and she just wouldn't stop shaking. All she did was look me in the eye and shake her head. She had herself anchored so I couldn't take her any closer to the slide. I looked around and realized just how many people were staring at us. Embarrassed, I accepted the fact that I wasn't going to change her mind. Alright, fine, let's go. I escorted her down the stairs, having to force a bunch of people out of the way the entire time. I realized I was doing the water park walk of shame. I'd seen so many scaredy cats making the long walk down in my day, but I never thought that...
I ain't gonna lie, I've done the walk. I ain't gonna lie. I've went to a roller coaster. See, if it was a slide, I would have happily went down a slide. When I go to a water park, I'm over there, I'm scared of heights, but I still go down almost every single slide. But when I went to a roller coaster park and I saw how high it was, bro, I had to do the walk of shame. I acted like I was on the phone, but everyone knew I wasn't. They started laughing at me, but I didn't know I cared, bro. I wanted out of there. I did. I left. I
It
left.
didn't matter, because
It was
Lord
bad, but I
knows
still
I'd
left.
never let my woman go anywhere on her own in a foreign country like that. When we got to the bottom, I had about 1 full second to feel sorry for myself about missing the chance to go down the slide. That's when I felt water spilling from the air, like someone was dumping water on our heads from the top of the windup. When I looked up, I saw the bottom of the tube slide split open. Out came a torrent of gushing water, and in that stream of water, people. They fell with the flood and hit the ground like bricks. Suddenly, the entire park was screaming, panicking, and swarming the area. And my girlfriend was absolutely petrified. The water kept spilling out of the hole in the slide. To my terror, people kept falling out of it. I don't know how many people.
How do people keep falling out of it when there's a weight when you go down, bruh? Be more realistic. Say 2 people fell out. Okay, that's a little more real, but people kept falling out. Hundreds and hundreds and thousands and millions, and the whole earth just started pouring down. It's like, bro, calm down a little bit. You know what I'm saying? Calm down.
Trapped in the dark
Calm
corner
down.
of that slide before it finally broke, but it must have been close to 30. There was this grotesque.
Did he say 30 people? Bro, chill out, bro. He said 2 at a time. Not even 2 at a time. He said before the other person gets out, like he's about to get out, the other person goes. So basically, 2 people would fall. That's it. But no, 30 people fell. 30 people. So, bro, chill out, bro. Chill
Pile
out.
of unconscious, injured patrons right beneath the break. Thankfully, nobody died that day, but many people were seriously injured. Of course, I've had to pay more real attention to my girlfriend's anxieties, because now she believes she's some sort of clairvoyant. What's worse is I just can't enjoy water slides like I used to anymore, because I can't help but think about what it would have been like to be trapped in such a strange, mysterious tube.
Hey, bro, if you go to a water park enough, you would know the hack. And if you know what I'm talking about, you know what I'm talking about. The hack is you can stop yourself at the slide. If you didn't know that, you stupid. I'm just joking, but yes, you can 100% stop yourself. If you go to a side where there's no water, the water pours down the middle. If you go to a side, it literally stopped making you go down. I did it on accident. My first time ever doing it, I was at the water park with my friends. And I went to the side and they stopped me. I was like, oh shit, I can just stop. But then they started whistling at me, so I had to go back in the middle. And I went to another slide and I wanted to test it out again. I tested it out and it worked again. I'm like, oh shit, so you can literally stop yourself. But they keep whistling at you if you do it. But you can do it. But another ad, chat, another ad. But I try and talk fast for you guys, so
This
you
has
guys.
gotta be one of the most.
I try and talk fast for you guys, so you guys don't be annoyed that I keep pausing and stuff, because I do pause a lot. I'm sorry.
Spine-tingling footages on the net. The mishap took place in Israel and has made headlines across the internet. We don't want to give too many details away and would much rather have the animation speak for itself. Here's a dramatized version of the alleged occurrence. Every year, my family and I would visit my relatives in Israel, and this year, one of my
Why? Why are you drawing? Bro, he's looking creepy as fuck. Chill
cousins
out with that
insisted
drawing.
that we go to a water park event where he was the host. From the bottom of my heart, I wanted to say no, because I've had aquaphobia for as long as I can remember. But before I had the chance to decline the offer, my parents had already said yes to avoid unnecessary social issues within the family.
So that's the guy that's telling the story. To be honest, I thought he was gonna be the freak of the story, or the creep, or whatever you want to call it. Why would you draw him like that, bro? Bro, no, this is not it.
So
This is not it.
eventually, we all went to the party.
You making
which
me
was the
look
only
behind
one
me
that
now.
I didn't look forward
I'm
to.
creeped
When
out.
we arrived, I saw hundreds of people sweeping the dance floor as they enjoyed a concoction of sorts. Typically, I would have worn a life vest or flotation device, but my pride got the better of me, and I didn't want my cousin to push me around like he used to when we were younger. Moments later, my cousin wrapped his arm around my neck, rapturous at the sight of me, looking terrified. Why are your balls so small?
Oh my
Man
God,
the hell
bro.
up! Did you wake up and choose anarchy? Why don't you mind your own business and get off my back? I said, puffing my...
If that's your cousin, bro, I feel bad for you, bro. He's giving you nightmare. Oh my god, bro. Why you gotta draw them like that? Chill out
chest to
with
make
that.
myself seem
Chill
confident.
out.
However, it only made
That
him
looking
more
creepy as
aggressive as he
fuck.
replied, "Why would I get off your back if you reminded me of my ex?" And then, with a
Whoa.
serpentine look, he added, "Wait a minute. Don't tell me you're still afraid of the water." My silence was a dead giveaway, and my cousin smirked at the thought he had the upper hand. I don't believe it. He laughed. "Leave me the hell alone or I'm calling the cops," I replied defensively. Moments later, a group...
You ever call the cops on your own cousin just because he told you you're scared of water? Bro, calm down, bro. Chill out. It's not that big of a deal. Calm down.
Group of guys
My
approached
dude
my
over here,
cousin,
chill out.
fist bumping with him. I never wanted anyone to know about my fear of water, but knowing my cousin, this was an opportunity he simply couldn't resist. "Guys, hear this!" He paused to build up the climax. "Did you know my cousin over here is 18 years old and is afraid of the water? Maybe he should go to the kiddie pool. I bet his poppy hand scrubs him when he bathes." "It's not funny! You don't know what I've been through!" "Who cares about what you've been through? This isn't a support group." I was utterly humiliated and embarrassed to see all the other people around looking at me like I was some kind of freak. They chuckled and whispered like I was the only adult.
I mean, don't get me wrong. The way they drew you and your cousin, you do look like a freak. Don't get me wrong. I'm not trying to be fucked up.
And just like that, I became the center of attention, and not the kind I would like to keep in my memory bank. Whenever I attended a party, I always wanted to look cool. But this time I wasn't so lucky, and all of his pals looked down on me like wolves, branding me as their prey. I left them behind and went up to a tall water slide, where I tried to compose myself. But I was afraid of heights. As I got to the top, vertigo took over me, and I began...
Now I can't make fun of you. When we talk about heights, I can't make fun of you, because I feel you. Heights is a bitch, bro. We can't go up there. It's too much. Now I feel you. Now we brothers. Now we can relate.
Sir, you don't have to go in if you can't handle it. Moments later, I heard my cousin
God
say,
damn, bro.
"Oh, poor
Why
thing.
did they draw him
You're
like
as
that,
pale
bro?
as Michael
My
Jackson.
dude looking
Come on,
creepy as
dude.
fuck.
Let's get you to a clinic or something." I knew
Look
he
at
was
his teeth.
sarcastic and condescending.
Looking like he
and
got
so
knives.
I replied, "Get away from me! Why don't you and your minions go hang out somewhere else?" "Then what? Miss out on all the fun you're giving us?" Not a moment too soon, he pushed me so hard that I lost my balance, falling into the tall, dangerous water slide. Ah! As I made it to the end of the slide, I instantly submerged into the water and struggled to stay afloat. "Help! Somebody help!" I struggled in the water, but no one paid attention. The music was so loud that no one could hear me scream for help, and everyone was in party mode, too drunk to notice an emergency. Moments later, one of the floaters came close enough for me to hold on to, and then I paddled my feet until I reached the gutter and got myself out of the water. After that, I looked straight ahead and saw my cousin giggling as he high-fived his buddies. I knew this would happen. I was full of regret. I did everything possible to avoid my cousin and his group of obnoxious teenagers, and so I bought a life jacket and kept it on at all times, just in case they ever found me again and decided to pull off another cruel trick. And then, moments later, I reached the wave pool, which simulated actual waves produced at sea. Again, it was the last place I wanted to be, but when I saw my cousin and his friends wandering around...
If it's the last place you want to be, then why would you go there? Why would you go there if it's the last? Obviously, if they see you, they're gonna throw you in to mess around with you since you're scared, bruh. Common sense, bro. But honestly, if you're ever in this situation, bro, don't get peer pressured. You know what you do is you walk away, cause if you do jump in or whatever happens and you get fucked, bro, you just giving them the why can't I talk, bro? You're just giving them the pleasure, right? Yeah, the pleasure that they wanted out of you, you know? I feel like that's not the right word. I will figure out what I was trying to say, but yeah, I know I can't talk. Let's just get
My
back to the
heart
video.
pounded fast, and I was afraid they'd do something so terrible that I could lose my life. So, when I had a few options left, I took advantage of blending into the crowd who were in the pool and held on to one of the donut floaters. However, as soon as I got in, I couldn't tell which was worse, being bullied by those ruffians
I thought he was scared of the water. How was he inside the water?
or holding on to dear life amidst the waters I feared so much. As large waves approached, I shut my eyes and braced for impact, while the
He was scared for them to throw him in the wave pool. But then he jumps in the wave pool to hide from them. This don't make sense to me, chat. It don't make
muscles in
sense.
my body constricted, but
It's
despite
pretty
being
dumb.
surrounded by
I'm
several
just saying it's
people,
pretty dumb,
I could
you know
see
what
my
I'm saying?
evil cousin hop in the pool and approach my direction. What the hell is his problem?
Bro, the way he looks
Just
creepy
leave
as
me
fuck. He's
alone.
like coming all towards him. Nah, hell
Locked
no.
eyes as he made long strides towards my direction. Then, all of a sudden, I was no longer bashed by waves. Instead, I felt a deadly suction force pulling my legs. At first, I thought it could have been my cousin or any of his friends trying to give me a good scare. But what happened next turned out to be my worst nightmare. The unidentifiable force that yanked my entire body towards the center was 2 times stronger than the Earth's gravitational pull. So, as I glanced at the people around me, most of them were yanking themselves out of the pool, leaving me behind, along with several vacant donut floaters. Help! Somebody help! I'm over here! I frantically called out to anyone who could hear me. But when I looked at the people on land, all they did was whisper to each other and take videos of me as if they didn't care. So, I cussed in frustration, calling out to my parents, who were probably busy chatting with my relatives, unaware of my impending doom. Nevertheless, I paddled relentlessly.
So there's no lifeguards. There's none. Bro, okay, like I get some stories are real, but I'm not believing the story. I'm not believing it.
Impossible for me to escape. Then, moments later, a life buoy was thrown at me, and immediately I clung to it until I was safe again on land. Witnessing the perilous sight of a sinkhole forming at the base of the pool, sucking in everything in its path. And then, I saw my cousin, who took a moment to glance at me before he completely disappeared, along with the floaters that were left behind. Help me, Jake! Grab my hand! Ah! His eyes spoke of fear. However, there was nothing else I could do. It all happened too fast. I barely made it out alive, and that's when it occurred to me that I almost died too. To this day, I feel sick to my stomach, knowing that some supernatural force took my cousin away. But like the saying goes, better him than me.
Like the saying goes, these stories are fake as fuck, chat. These stories are horribly fake. Chat. Oh, whoa, 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 whoa. What's going on here? This is what I was trying to do. This is what I was trying to do. This is what I was trying to do. Ignore my fucked up hair. Chat, what the fuck was these stories, chat? They were so bad. Like, come on. You know what? I think I'm gonna start doing animated stories because I think I can do better. I think I can do better. I'm not gonna lie, because, bro, he said they were real. They were nowhere near real. Let's be honest. They were not real. They were super fake. Like the first one, 30 people fell off from the side. Like, bro, chill out. 30 people. 30 people. When you said there's a wait after every 2%. This makes sense. And then the second one, a huge fucking hole happened and it started sucking it. Bro, chill out. Either way, hey, make sure you like, subscribe. Hey, you fuck with a jacket, you know, connect the call, you know what I'm saying? Copped it yesterday, I believe. Either way, damn. I just proved I'm broke. Copped it on Black Friday. Okay, no. Either way, ignore the hoodie. We don't want to talk about it no more. Please like, subscribe, hit that notification. It means a lot. It helps me go live every day. Shit, today I went live twice. Come on, respect the hustle. You know what I'm saying? Either way, it's been your boy.